How's it going, my lovely death disciples? I am the Shattered Reaper, and today we are going to continue our Let's Play of the life and suffering of Sir Brante. And in this video, I'm forgetting how to do intros now. Last video, we had actually worked a few years in our childhood halfway through. And we are now on our 5th year, where we have been able to gain some perception by starting off by smiling at a little shadow man behind my parents, and he was just like, "Shh, no need to reveal my presence now." And yes, basically starting my play of the interference of the goddess of chaos in a world run by the two twin gods of order. Yeah, you think you're gonna continue being in charge this entire time by enforcing this caste system of complete order? No. Goddess of Chaos always has her way of mixing things up a bit. So, we did also meet our siblings, and we also have a younger brother now. We have Stefan, who is a total bitch, because he's nobility. And he's just a prick. I did everything I could to make everybody happy, but Stefan is just like, "No, you are a peasant commoner. I have no interest in the likes of you." So yeah, Stefan is a total bitch, and we are not going to be friends with him, even if I somehow end up in nobility. My sister, we actually also discovered she secretly writes poetry. Mom was not happy about that, so I offered to write poetry with her and read with her, and it was fun. And then Mom, well, she got super depressed after the fourth child, and she got really angry because Nathan was crying, which, by the way, is also my name, in case you didn't know from the last episode. So yes, there's a character in this game who has my name, my real name, and it's like, wow. But luckily I came up with the best solution, where I was able to both make sure that Nathan was safe and that he was fine, and also to calm Mother down so that she wasn't so upset, and just remind her that it's okay, everybody loves her, and everything is fine. So it was nice to be able to do that, and now we are in our 5th year of childhood, so let us go ahead. Oh, before we continue, I would like everybody to know that I am going to be hitting 100 subscribers pretty soon. Like, I just literally need one more, and I got 100 subscribers. And I'm thinking of doing like a little bit of a stream for a rune reading, and I don't exactly know when I'm going to do that because I don't have 100 subscribers yet, but that is going to be planned. Let me know what you guys think about the idea. I'm going to be using the Elder Futhark runes, and I am going to have to remind myself of the meaning of each of the words because it's been a long while since I've done any rune reading, but I think it'd be fun to do, so let me know what you guys think, and that'll be it. So without further ado, let's continue our childhood. You wake up to your father's touch on your shoulder. He's finally back home from a long trip. Ha! He went to see me first, Stefan. I'm the more important child, you bitch. Volker, today is your special day. The day when you begin your studies. Now teachers will be coming to our home to teach you, and you must do everything they say. Be diligent in your studies, and you will grow closer to the nobleman's lot. Ooh. And since you must remember this day, a present is in order. Lydia, get our little schoolboy dressed. I'm taking him to the market district. Stefan wants to come with you too. Nah, you don't get to come with. You're too much of a bitch. The father shushes him sternly. This is your day. Yeah, it's my day, so piss off, motherfucker. Your elder brother is hurt to hear this, but stays quiet. That's what you get for always being nothing but just an absolute prick-ass bitch. I'm seriously trying to think of other insults I could give, but whatever. An open carriage takes the two of you through the dusty, noisy city streets. A pleasant wind tussling your beautiful, gorgeous hair, because after all, none can compare to my beauty. Your city is called Anizote, that you already know. It is one of the largest cities in the entire empire. There is a big shadow on the street. comes from the white foliage of an enormous tree that spreads its branches all above the city. Yggdrasil? My son, did you know that the silver tree grew from the blood of our gods, own disciples? It has been growing here for hundreds of years, right in our city. It cannot be damaged or burned. Not even the clergy know why. Ooh. Well, I mean, that is some good taste with having a tree of silver. The carriage comes to a halt by a small shop next to a city square. You run there and freeze by the stalls in excitement. The shop is packed with dolls and figurines and toys. You've never seen so many at once before. Have you chosen your present yet? Father asks. You have. You want the Holy Order set, which includes several figurines of the Empire's greatest warriors of all time. Well, okay, now I understand why. At first I was like, no, I want the Holy Order set, but then seeing like they're the greatest warriors, like, okay, now I understand. That makes sense. You rattle off everything you know about the Holy Order. They were the ones who aided the Emperor's own forces in seizing the province of Marga. Oh, hold on. Okay, sorry about that. Dad gave me a call, and it normally doesn't necessarily have a particular time schedule where we call. It's just sort of like on any time at Saturday or whatever. Anyway, so, where was I? Oh, yes. You rattle off everything you know about the Holy Order. They were the ones who aided the Emperor's own forces in seizing the province of Magra and storming our city. That's how we joined the Empire. I'm not entirely sure if that's something you can necessarily be proud of. I don't know. It's like, yeah, but these were the guys that took over the city we live in. Is that? I don't know. Anyway, Father nods in approval. See, this is kind of why the Goddess of Chaos needs to work her magic, because the Order is just so instilled that it doesn't make any sense what these people are thinking. This is why I'm here, y'all. This is why I'm here. Very well. War isn't your lot for now, but maybe these toy soldiers will teach you to think like a general. We will lead them into battle and study military strategy. Go ahead, take a present. Yes, I will learn about all these things for my own purposes. Having said this, Father turns away to examine the books. You run to a box of toy soldiers, delirious with excitement, but there's a fancy-dressed boy in your way. He's about to take your warriors for himself. He elbows you aside and reaches for the box. Anger overcomes you and you push him from behind. Your opponent falls to the floor. The rich boy screams so loudly everyone in the shop hears it. He hit me! He hit me! A tall tower of a man looms over you. This is the boy's father. But then you feel your own father's hands on your shoulders. What happened? Okay, how do I explain this? Is it true, Volker? Did you strike the son of a nobleman? Tell the truth, deny your guilt, admit your guilt. You step between the adults and say that it was all your fault. Well, I am not necessarily one for lying, and I am one for taking responsibility, so... yeah, I did it. You recall Mother's words. If you hurt a noble, you must be punished. There's no use trying to lie to escape it. You say it was all your fault. You push the other boy to the floor because you wanted to get your present before him. Father nods to you, relieved to hear it, and the enraged nobleman grabs you by the hand and drags you out into the streets. The law is the law, and your punishment is due. Ow. They lead you and the nobleman's son out of the shop. You are told to bow to him and show humility. A bad feeling sends a shiver down your spine. With a satisfied grin on his face, the boy swings his arm and slaps you on the cheek. He strikes you again and again. Father stays quiet all the while, and as you ride home after the punishment is over, he shows you a rectangular package. I am proud to see you living by your lot. A common birth leads to a life of humility, and you told the truth and accepted your punishment like a man. This present is yours, my son. The things I do simply just to make people happy. But it will come in time. There will be a time where it all comes together. There's a method to my madness. Inside is a little box with the tin soldiers of the holy orders inside. They are your reward for humility. Alright, +1 relationship, so we get sympathy from him, and we have the status grateful. Yay! And, let's see. Your father remembers what you did for him. Yay. Willpower -5. Okay, so I have nothing now. I have no willpower. Great! I'm gonna have to find some way to get that back. Year 1124, summer, the family dinner. Today, Father ordered the dinner table be brought out into the yard. For the first time in months, he's home, outside of the confines of his always locked study. He spent the entire day playing with Nathan and you and discussing various matters with Stefan, now an adolescent fuck, and walking in the garden. And now a dinner under the open sky. Please tell me it's very sunny and not rainy. Your entire family gathers together, with Father at the head of the table, smiling. He asks each of you about your studies. Nathan climbs up on his knees and recites a counting rhyme in a funny sing-song voice. Oh, how very good of you, Nathan. You've done so well. Stephen mentions that his fencing teacher praised his accomplishments. Yeah, no one cares, Stephen. You fuck up at everything. We know that you fucked up. Everyone knows that you fucked up and that you're shit at fencing. So nice try. He rises from the table together with Father to show his skill in a practice duel. Next comes Gloria's turn. She stands on her chair and recites a lengthy prayer by heart. Mother showers her sister with praise. Father chuckles quietly, hiding a smile on his mustache. When your turn comes, you recite all the ranks in the Legion, from common soldier to high commander. Stephen listens to you with a skeptical look on his face. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm able to prove my skills in my memory and my knowledge. But you somehow think that your pitiful, just pokey-poke fencing that doesn't even do anything is supposed to be impressive. Oh, you foolish boy, you. Night slowly falls, but the servants ensure that the yard is well illuminated. You don't feel cold in the dust tonight. It feels good, yet so important. All of you are finally together, sitting at the same table. No fighting, just smiles, no arguing, just pleasant small talk. Then a servant approaches Father with a letter in his hand. He reads in the dim light, and each line gradually washes the smile off Father's face until only a stone-cold mask remains. Mother looks at Father with an unspoken question in her eyes. Gregor Brante is coming back to Anizote. He is the head of our family. My father. Kinda get the feeling you guys don't really get along. Well, I mean, considering that I've read your backstory, yeah, that's pretty much the case. Sorry, I just wanted to be able to see if I could see how long the last clip of the video was. Your grandfather, Gregor Brante, returned to the family home from the capital. Ever since the news of your grandfather's impending arrival, there has not been a single day when the house has not been cleaned or decorated. Your parents anxiously make sure everything is in order. They tell you to wash your face and hands after walks and scold you for leaving books on the floor. They tell Gloria she will be flogged if she is ever seen hiding in the attic. They make Stephen stay in his room, even baby Nathan gets in trouble. Everyone is on edge. Then one day, Grandfather arrives. It is a grim day, so hot your neck is sticky with sweat. Father, Mother, Stephen, Gloria, you, and Nathan, the entire Brante family stands on the porch in front of the house servants lined up behind you. The carriage arrives, and out steps a tall, gaunt old man with a heavy walking stick and a heavier gaze. You cringe instinctively. I can't even laugh at that. I mean, it's a cringe, but it's not funny. It's terrifying. It's simply terrifying. And, let's see, how long was the, last video? Okay, not very long, just 6 minutes. Good health to you, Father. Children, greet your grandfather as you have been taught. Still trying to look like a real nobleman, are you? You can't fool me, Robert. I was the first of the Brante family to be ennobled by the mantle, And I'm the only one who remembers how to bear this burden properly. Yeah, we get it. You like to brag a lot about how you're the first to blah, blah, blah. Get. I live honorably by my lot. Your marriage to that low-born wench cut us off from ever becoming nobles of the sword. My progeny could have been born bearing noble blood. Father, I beg you, this is not the place. Grandfather eyes him with scorn and walks into the house, the entire family following close behind him. I have been away far too long. The entire house is a mess. This is an insult. How can you live in such a pigsty, Robert? The servants have grown far too lazy, all thanks to your commoner of a wife. I warned you, did I not? And yet you did as you saw fit. And the children, what do they know of tradition or honor? They are being raised in a virtuous family, Father. And now you're speaking like a lowborn who's content to live in humility. Well, I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure humility is supposed to be a virtue, is it not? Why not everyone be humility? Be in humility, I mean. Twins willing now that I am here. This will not happen again. I am taking your oldest son to the capital. I see you cannot provide Stefan with a proper education, so I will correct your mistake. Your brother's fate has been decided just like that. Father does not object. He orders the servants to prepare Stephen for the journey. Stephen freezes in place, glancing at grandfather and father again, and again. The latter puts a hand on his shoulder reassuringly. Grandfather's lips are a tight line, white with contempt. Have fun in the capital with Grandpapa, Stephen. His misery's just gonna continue, and I'm just gonna love every single moment of it. Okay, maybe I will have a limit, but you get what I mean. As of right now, I'm enjoying myself, okay? He's been too much of a bitch, and now he gets to be taught a few manners. The house is examined room after room. Everything grandfather sees is showered with scorn. Of course it is. He scoffs at a cease on a blanket in Nathan's crib and mother's bedroom. He mocks Gloria's knitting in her room. The door to your room is next. Oh, I'm not gonna like this. What is this? Robert? 10 soldiers in your younger son's room. He was born a commoner. I won't have him daydreaming of battle. Excuse me, grandfather, but I have been learning in the ways of being a commander and a general. I have learned the art of war and have also been taught the many fine names of the generals and commoner soldiers alike in battle who have honored the Empire. Wretched life other than be the first noble born of your family, which got you in that position. How exactly? Because you happened to bang a noblewoman wench to become a mantle nobleman. I at least put in some effort. Oh fuck. I have no willpower, or I have no presentation. I have no determination. I am screwed. Or I don't have 4 perception, I have just 3. Damn it! Grandfather sees the box containing the 10 soldiers of the Holy Order. Your father stays silent, anger and fear boiling within you. This is your big present from the first day of your studies. It means so much to you. But what if he's right? What if you need to prove you're right to command the toy soldiers first? Grandfather shakes his head in disapproval and shoves the toy box into the roaring fireplace. If you wait too long, they will melt in the flames. Rescue your 10 soldiers, watch them melt helplessly. I ain't gonna be bursting into tears. I am not going to have anybody think I'm the weaker link. I mean, it's natural to to cry. But you know what? Driven mad by anger and injustice, you kick grandfather in the leg. I will strike this motherfucker down where he stands! Fuck you, bitch! Overwhelmed by helpless rage, you run to grandfather and kick him in the leg with all the strength you can muster. Yet he is immovable. Oops. Next thing you see is him leaning, towering over you menacingly, his heavy walking stick in hand. Low-born scum! How dare you raise a hand to me! Ain't the first time, if I'm being perfectly honest. In fact, actually, despite the fact I have been making the virtuous choices, I have literally been taking every opportunity to strike at a nobleman, and this is the first time I decided, you know what, fuck it, let's strike him down. The blow hits home. Okay, that might not have been the best idea, but the other option was to just cry, and I wasn't going to do that in front of him. I was not going to give him the satisfaction. The handle of the walking stick is as heavy as a rock. You are dazed, robbed of both hearing and sight. Down comes another blow. A sharp pain splits your head. Then darkness. Your hand twitches against your will, then again, and again, like it is trying to catch a flying butterfly. Then you fall into the primordial void. The void takes away a part of you. One of the lives you were given to live. It will never return. There is pain and desperation and a sense of loss. Nothing can be done now. Wait, he literally fucking killed me? I just kicked him and he killed me? How was I supposed to expect that? Oh my god, so he actually did kill me. He literally fucking killed me. Okay, yeah, no, you know what? I am glad that I kicked him. I am glad that I did what everybody was thinking. Nobody liked that guy. I was pretty much the only person that did what everybody was thinking they wanted to do. You fall into a pain that embraces you like a soft featherbed. You feel light, free. There are no restraints, just a warm glow that envelops you in its secure embrace. The waves carry you. Their touch is soft. They delicately enshroud what was once your body. It is a feeling unlike anything you have ever felt. That you have ever experienced before. Sorry, I was kind of looking away at something else. Something absolute and complete. You touch something greater. The reason behind everything. The reason for your very existence. You were sculpted from this light. Sorry. It was the first thing you ever felt. A boundless and sincere unity of the diverse. Your beginning was a spark that cast this light in all directions. And now you are here again. One with the beginning of everything. The light gleaming from you resembles the light of a shining pillar. You still see it. In the north, as always. The waves of light carry you to two figures. The elder is nearest. He is ready to accept you. He is quiet, wise, kind, and pure. The younger waits further back. You do not know what he is yet. The waves pause at the elder's feet. He leans over you and plants a feather-like kiss on your forehead. The kiss spreads all over you. You are filled with unparalleled delight and bliss. You exist. You are unique. There is no one else like you. They know this, and they love you. Okay, are you trying to make me like the twins now? Because it's kind of working. But I do remember that cast thing, so, You will never be alone. You are a part of them. A part of your family. A part of this universe. The twin gods will never leave you. They watch over you constantly. The elder softly touches you as you lie spread out amongst the waves, sending you further down the torrent of light. You float on, to the top of the silver tree's spreading crown. The closer you get to the silver tree, the heavier you become. The waves draw you down along its trunk, but you do not wish to part with the warmth and the softness with the love. You turn around. The elder is still watching you. He nods. All is as it should be. Go. Your time has not yet come. You must return to the world now. As you tumble down toward your body, you comprehend the true meaning with your lesser death and the divine love that has been revealed to you. Love exists not only in the hereafter. It is present in the entire design of the twins that is the original of all life in this world. What is the manifestation of this love in your mortal life? Empire. By creating the Empire, the twin gods cared for all living creatures. The Empire is the only thing that gives us a place in the world and a connection to the others. It is an enormous family made for people by the gods. Lot. The gods give you a clear mission in this world, thus giving you your very being. This is the manifestation of their love for you and for all living beings. Family. Love always lives in kindred blood. You share the miracle of life in the universe with your kin. Your family is what you are given upon being born, and what you leave behind when you depart. Cause. The love the gods have for you is so great that they allow you to change the world they have created, to influence it with your deeds. Whatever your mission is, it is a proof of the twin gods' love for you. Yourself. What could be a stronger manifestation of love than your very existence? Your every emotion, every thought, every action exists by virtue of the love from which the twin gods created you. You do not find the answer you seek. Cause. A sudden comprehension of the love with which the entire world is imbued illuminates your mind, but then it fades away and vanishes. You regain the sensation of your flesh. It is heavy and unwieldy. It lacks that lightness, that light. It is a burden. It is smothering you. You gasp for air. Your chest expands painfully. You feel as though your lungs are about to burst. The stagnant odor of the crypt fills them. Revolting, but so real. You are back. Then you smell a sickly, moist smell. You feel dampness all around you. You come back to your senses in the gloom of a family crypt, lying flat on a stone slab. Your parents are on their way to the crypt right now. You hear their muffled voices. They're arguing, and against all rules, Mother will not agree with Father. Why would Sir Gregor do this? He just took one of our child's lives. Lydia, my father is our family's head, and the boy raised a hand to him. There was nothing we could do, and Father did admit that he was too hard on him. That ain't no fucking excuse, he fucking killed me! Please do not anger Sir Gregor. You need to accept this. It will never happen to any of our children again. Or ever again. Their voices grow quiet as they lean over you. You lean on your elbows to try and get up from the stone. Mother gingerly wraps her cloak over your naked body as you shiver from the cold. Wait, hold on. I was nude? Why was I naked? Can someone explain that to me? Why was I naked? My son, your first death came far too soon. I know it may be difficult to realize what happened, but know this. The twin gods are ever merciful. You are a child, and your time to leave for the hereafter has not yet come. You will be returned here by the gods twice more. But do not tempt fate again, and never, ever defy those who can easily take your life. Volker, you have angered your grandfather greatly. Do not stand in Sir Gregor's way ever again, and he will never hurt you again. For now, just stay away from him. Father stays a step away from you, not saying a word. When Mother finishes talking, he picks you up and carries you outside. Together, your parents take you from the family crypt. On your way out of the crypt, you take a moment to touch your head. It is perfectly fine. There is no sign of the blow. Back home, Grandfather is still walking through the house, examining the rooms. You could see that Stefan and Gloria are disturbed by what just happened. Nathan starts crying when he sees you. The playroom still reeks of burnt paint. Well, you know what? I didn't like you anyway, so I could not give a single fuck about you liking me. You are an asshole. You deserve to be hated. Gregor Brante. There is something new about you now. A pitch-black stripe on your left arm. Looks like a strange bit of dirt at first, but it will not wash off. It will be like that forever, Mother explains. That is all she will say of it. Now he finds me distasteful. Well, you know what? I fucking hate your guts. But I do get perception and determination, so you know what? That works. I am, however, spineless. Still, okay. But I am inquisitive, so that works. Okay. And I died once. Died twice, died thrice, true death. Okay. Beyond, event has happened. Suffer your first death. As a small child, you suffer your first death and rebirth. Yeah, I just kinda wasn't expecting my grandfather to be the one to kill me. And all because I kicked him in the leg. Really? Really? The ant farm. The event is a consequence of your previous actions. Conditions met, perception greater than 4. Alright. The ant farm. Your younger brother Nathan is growing. Mother spends more time with the rest of the family now. You help her and play with your brother and take care of him when she asks. You often go to Mother's room to sit at the foot of her bed after Nathan falls asleep. She reads you the sacred books and asks about the things you learned that day. During these moments, you see the world through her eyes as well. One day, the door of your room opens and she brings in a large box covered with a piece of cloth. It is rare for you to see her so overjoyed. She sets the box on the floor and removes the cloth. The box under the cloth is made of glass and has a wooden base. Inside, you see a layer of earth shaped into carefully crafted passages, and these passages are full of hardworking ants. Volker, this is my gift to you, an ant farm. It's a little world in a small box. We can watch them through this glass. Look, this is the queen ant. She is the reason all these little ants were born. You sit by the box together. You hold your breath as you watch the ant colony at work. There turns out to be a method to the ants' chaotic movements. Every single one of them has a task to perform. Some of them have larger mandibles. They are the protectors of the colony. They can draw blood from your finger. Others work all around the colony, repairing the walls and clearing any debris from the passages. There are also workers who collect food and put in a special tray, leaves, bits of meat, maggots, and bring it to the rest of the colony. You take a worker ant and put it right next to the food. However, the insect has no interest in it. It starts circling around the tray aimlessly. Mother takes the stray ant and puts it back where it belongs. Why did you do that, my son? The ants cannot do what they weren't born to do. Each of them was born for their own job. You shake your head slowly. If only the ants could do whatever you wanted them to. This is your gift now, so they belong to you. Or maybe Mother's presence is the reason they won't obey you. Keep playing with Mother. Mother's look is full of warmth and love. Nathan, Gloria, and Father are away right now for the first time in a long while. It is just the two of you, and Mother takes great joy in watching over the ant farm. She shares her knowledge of the world with you. The things she tells you are true. Wow, okay. So basically, my mother, despite being a commoner, is a very worldly and very well-educated woman. Chop that, Gregor Brante! 'Cause she knows more about the world than you do. She knows about taking care of the world, how it works. You, on the other hand, are responsible for literally murdering a child just because it kicked your leg. You move closer to her and suggest going outside and finding some bugs for the ants. She agrees to this happily and holds your hand as you leave the house. Soon you are busy catching bugs and sharing your thoughts on how the ants will feed the colony with them. From time to time you laugh together, making up stories about errant flies and caterpillars overthrowing the ant kingdom. Oh, I have planted the seeds of revolt within her mind as a mere child. Aw. You and Mother hold hands as you return to your room. She can't help but smile. It is a faint smile, a child's smile, a smile full of sunlight. You are so happy to have seen the world through her eyes today. And we get +1 relation, which gives the affection to... I'm just so happy about this, I really am. Oh, and I get +5 willpower. Hooray for me! Alright, what do we got now? Year 1124 fall, the master of the house. Soon grandfather leaves. Your older brother Stefan goes with him. Bye, bitch! From that day on, father's hired teachers tend to you alone. They bore you with monotonous lectures on writing, counting, and the way of life in the blessed Archnean Empire. You often distract yourself from their instruction by playing with your younger brother Nathan. Your home grows quiet without your elder brother. Too quiet. Weeks later, your family receives a letter from Stefan. Grandfather has sent him to a boarding school for nobles, and he is now studying hard in preparation for his service as a nobleman. The rules here are way too strict. You can't even sneeze without the teacher's permission. But I've been studying with my peers. We're learning how to live as nobles in the noble society. We're also learning the art of swordplay. That's my favorite part. Well, I mean, it would be anyone's favorite part, but, glad you're starting to understand what it's like having to deal with you. But, at least we do know he has limits. So, for that, I do kind of feel bad. With Stephen now at the boarding school, Grandfather arrives once more. Oh, fuck! This time to live in your home. Oh, this will definitely not be something traumatizing for me. I mean, hey, the guy who murdered me and took my first life is gonna be living here. That's so fucking great. I'm just so happy about this. Can you tell how happy I am? Can you tell how pleased I am by this news? The only good thing is that he often has urgent business in Eterna, the capital of the Empire, and has to travel there. One day you ask your mother where he lived before in Eterna. She says, but now his place is here. I truly wonder the same thing as well. Each time Grandfather returns, he gives the servants new orders. Your home is now always busy with repairs. The servants are redecorating Grandfather's chambers, including his library and sitting room. Sometimes Father tries to gently talk him out of this. Why subject the home to constant reconstruction? Grandfather's answer is always the same. This home is mine, and I will live here as befits a man of nobility. You mean being a spoiled fuck? Because that seems to be how you run things. An illustrious guest. Some days Grandfather stays home, and on those days you try your best to stay out of his sight. Probably for the best, but you know, he's always in my sight. Just so that I could find a proper way to deal with him at some point. Just one. But there is no way you can avoid family breakfast. The food is there, but you cannot bring yourself to eat it. Mother's eyes are red and swollen. She has been crying all night again. Grandfather sits at the head of the table where nobody used to sit before. Robert, it is high time your youngest sons underwent their sacraments. Sir Brante, please, let them live free of that love for a while longer. They have but... Shut your mouth! Robert, that wife of yours is impertinent enough to interrupt me. If this ever happens again, she'll be eating her gruel with the servants in the kitchen where she belongs. It is time you considered a real marriage, Robert. One true woman of the proper station. Gloria drops her fork. Grandfather shoots her a scathing look. A tear rolls down Mother's cheek. Father does not look away from the plate, his hands clenched into fists. Baroness Elodar is one such woman. She is a comely widow and a fine match. She is suing for her inheritance right now and could use proper support and a husband. You can keep your low-born Lydia around if you like. Servant, mistress, I don't care. I will not do that, Father. I am the head of this family, and the family's standing took a severe blow after you married that commoner. It is unthinkable. How could you give up the memory of beautiful Amelia Elborn for this lowly woman and that bastard child of hers? But now you have a chance to set things right. Don't disappoint me. Father nods curtly, trying not to look in Mother's direction. Father, I wish to see Stephanie. If I find your conduct in the Baroness's presence satisfactory enough, then you may see her. She is coming for a visit tomorrow. Be prepared. Grandfather wipes his mouth with his napkin, throws it onto his plate, and leaves. Mother's lips move silently. Nobody says a word. Father stands up and orders you and the other children back to your rooms. He needs to speak to Mother in private. Father comes to your room before bedtime. He sits on the edge of the bed and adjusts a crease on the woolen blanket. He distanced himself from you after Stephen's departure, so you are not used to such attention from him. In the candlelight, you could see his face in the dark. There is a sour expression on it. My son, Baroness Anna Lodar will be visiting us tomorrow. Please be polite and treat her with respect. Nathan will do as you do. I want this dinner to be as immaculate as possible. Don't let me down. On the next day, Mother starts dressing you and Nathan for the coming dinner. You see red all around her eyes. She has been crying, and for a long time. It hurts just to look at her. Nathan starts whining quietly. You and Nathan are dressed in new doublets. Your tousled hair brushed into shape. Gloria is told to stay in her room. Father appears wearing his best suit. Mother is in a humble brown dress, looking pale. Grandfather has an uncharacteristically contented look about him. You hear the sound of wheels and hooves against the cobbles in the yard, then a pair of dainty heels come clacking. The antechamber is completely quiet and still, fearing Grandfather's observant eye. The door opens. You see your guest, a beautiful dark-haired woman in a dress of elegant deep blue. Okay, she does have some taste in fashion, I will give her that. But still not sure how this is going to affect my own mother. Father takes the hand of Lady El Lodar and kisses it, showering her with compliments. Grandfather's face is beaming in her presence. No one even bothers to introduce Mother. Baroness, allow me to introduce you to Robert's sons, Volker and Nathan Brante. Frankly, it's his eldest Stephen who deserves the most attention, but currently he is studying in Eterna with other young noblemen like himself. Oh, fuck you, Gregor! It is my hope that his younger sons will also make me proud one day. Now that I'm really gonna be looking to make you proud after you fucking murdered me, perhaps maybe I will just have to think about how I can bring you to your true death very quickly. Grandfather eyes you with a probing look. How will you act in front of the Baroness? Will you accept her here next to your mother, your father's rightful wife? Greet the Baroness politely, walk away with Mother. You approach Baroness El Lodar and kiss her hand, following Father's example. Walk away with Mother. You take Mother's arm and leave the hall by her side. Maintain your composure. You greet Lady El Lodar with restraint and avoid getting too involved in the event. Demand that Father introduces Mother as his wife. This is gonna get me into trouble, but you know what? I'm sticking up with my mom. Goddess of Chaos moment! You follow Father's example and kiss the Baroness's fingers gently. Her laughter fills the antechamber, ringing like chimes. Okay, so I'm not being rude to the Baroness, so I'm still being polite. Behind your back you can hear Mother sobbing. Grandfather nods to you in approval. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Mother quietly walking upstairs. No, this is wrong. This cannot be. You walk up to Father and look him in the eye and ask in a voice loud enough to be heard by everyone. Why didn't he introduce Mother to the guest? She is his legal wife and your mother, is she not? There is silence. Mother stops on the stairs and turns her head in surprise. Father is confused. Nathan starts whining again. Grandfather grinds his teeth, his hand tightly gripping the heavy walking stick. You keep Father transfixed by her gaze. After a few moments that feel like an eternity, he winks at you, almost imperceptibly, then adjusts his doublet and turns to your noble guest. Baroness, allow me to introduce Lydia Brante, my wife and mother to my younger children. Lydia, would you be so kind as to join us for dinner? What are you saying, Robert? We all sang, fuck you, you absolute cunt, Gregor Brante. Father, it would be a disgrace to hold family dinner without the lady of the house. Father marches up the stairs and offers his hand to Mother. She accepts it and walks down with a shy smile on her face. For the first time in those many days, the Baroness presses her lips in contempt at the sight. After a long moment, Grandfather finally breaks the uneasy silence and leads everyone into the dining room. Mother sits at the furthest corner of the table, claiming that she needs to watch over Nathan. There's barely any small talk over dinner, apart from the Baroness and Grandfather discussing her widowhood and inheritance litigation. Father and Mother do not say a word throughout the meal, yet they no longer look as tense as the day before. There's not even a mention of any potential marriage. As soon as the door closes behind him, behind the Baroness, you flee to your bedroom and lock the door. Grandfather's heavy footsteps can already be heard in the hallway. He is a force of anger, eager to get his hands on you. Whelp! You had the nerve to interfere in the adults' affairs! You ruined the dinner with the Baroness! Open the door this instant and face the punishment you deserve! To be fair, Gregor, I think I made my family the happiest they have ever been ever since your putrid, wrinkly ass arrived. Then suddenly his voice dies down. You hear Father speaking quietly. We both realize there can be no other marriage, Father. I already have a wife, and there is nothing to be done about it. I'm sorry, Father, but you will have to accept it. And please, leave my son alone. He only helped me face the truth, and nothing else. Take that, you sultry-ass puke. Now, that probably wasn't one of my best insults, but you know what? I don't care. Grandfather huffs and puffs at a loss for words. Aww. You hear the head of the Brante family and his adult son retreat from the door of your room. It seems there will be no punishment today, after all. The goddess of chaos strikes yet again. Grandfather leaves for Eterna, alone. And besides, isn't it a little bit, isn't it a little bit out of conduct to have someone who's already married just marry someone else? I feel like that's a bit more shameful, if I'm being perfectly honest. Just saying. About a fortnight later, Father receives a letter from Stefan. It seems Grandfather told him about the incident with the Baroness, and so the letter is full of ire. He writes that you have reminded high society about Father's marriage to a low-born woman, and now the family's reputation is at stake. Shit. Father winces when he reads Stefan's letter, deep in thought, but Mother is smiling again because of Father's action. Her joy a quiet, happy glow. Well, I mean, I did kind of put you seeing Stefan at risk there. So, oh. Okay, so I added more peace in the family, but, I did kind of tarnish the family's reputation just a little bit more. Oops. Well, I mean, it's still okay. It's not negative, so it's alright. Oh well. But again, to be fair, wouldn't it be tarnishing the honor more if Father had to remarry and break off his other marriage when he's already married? I feel like that's a bit more distasteful, but, you know, nobility never really makes any sense, you know? They're weird. Father now checks on your studies often and nitpicks you for sitting or eating or speaking in an incorrect fashion. Once he became so annoyed, he says that he wishes Stefan had been the one to stay at home instead of you. Okay, after what I just did, seriously? Really? Well, sorry for keeping your happy marriage intact, Father! You never expected to hear these words from your father, of all people. Grandfather's trip to the capital took longer than expected. Feels lighter around the house without his presence. I wonder if Grandfather spread that rumor just out of spite, like, wow, okay, you decided to dishonor your family just because your son didn't do what you wanted. Okay, thanks, Grandpapa, you absolute distasteful piece of shit. You allow yourself a little change of scenery. Instead of your room, you now busy yourself with reading and calculations in the sitting room across from the open door to the yard. Gloria has joined you today. She has already helped you progress through several complex passages in books. Thank you, sister. You truly are too intelligent. You truly have been wasted to be placed in a position where you're not allowed to read and you're just supposed to be some housewife. You truly deserve to be respected as a woman of intelligence. Right now, she seems to be preoccupied with a strange tooth. Aren't you hurt by the way Grandfather treats you? Aren't you hurt by the way Grandfather treats you? You ask. Gloria just shrugs. Grandfather always says they should get rid of me. I'm used to it by now. He hurts you a lot worse because you're closer to him. I just have to stay out of his way, that's it. I mean, fair enough. She shows you the strange tube she has been holding all day. Look, it's a kaleidoscope. I got it as a gift. Want to see inside? Excited by the idea, you close the book and peer into the tiny hole on one end of the tube. Your eye sees a multitude of intricate patterns. Each turn of the tube reveals a new web of interwoven colors. They mesmerize you. The kaleidoscope turns the fire burning in the fireplace into a cavalry made of flames. You are riding at the front of the fiery horseman, ready to face the enemy. Grandfather's face emerges from the intersecting lines, and you swing the kaleidoscope like a sword, cutting it in half. Now you look at the blue sky through the window. The patterns are unending, secretive and calm and peaceful, just like Father's smile before Grandfather's invasion. The deep blue gives way to a scattering gold, radiating gentle warmth like Mother's arms. This fleeting beauty too soon gives way to a hypnotic pattern. Again and again you see your family in these interconnecting figures as they come together and break apart. And in the middle of this golden glow you see Gloria's green eyes, gazing at you observantly. Your sister left you long ago. The books are abandoned and time slips away unchecked, but you are still busy peering into the kaleidoscope. Order emerges from the chaos before your eyes again and again, but you cannot preserve it, no matter how you try. Exactly the way that order and chaos work together. They balance. One cannot exist without the other, and as order wishes to believe that it is invulnerable, chaos comes in to break it apart, for order to remake again, and again, and again. Just like life and death, the cycle of order and chaos are always connected. You are caught in an inner conflict. There's so much that can be done with this kaleidoscope. Should you take it apart or ask Gloria how it works, or keep enjoying the patterns it shows you? But you still have lessons today. I could return to my studies, but why not take a look at the intricate parts inside? You start taking the toy apart to learn the secrets of the never-ending patterns. You examine the kaleidoscope as curiosity overtakes you. There's something strange rumbling around inside it. It has to be a mystery of some kind. You are dying to figure it out, itching to understand how it works. You rip away the wooden cylinder on the wide end of the kaleidoscope. Inside, you see 3 elongated mirrors put together to form a triangle. The transparent glass shield falls out and onto your knees. A bunch of glittering tiny glass baubles scatter on the table. There was nothing infinite inside it, you realize. It was just a clever trick. With a heavy heart, you go to your sister's room and confess to breaking the kaleidoscope. Gloria is sad, but not angry with you. She asks you to promise never to take her things apart. You promise. Well, I got more perception. Sorry, Gloria. But I lost all my willpower. At least it doesn't affect my relationship with Gloria, so that's good. Grandfather's visits are no longer a cause for fear and panic in the house. He has become something you are used to. Something nagging, yet not unordinary. Like a splinter or a stain on your trousers. The tension still remains, however. Sir Gregor's disdain for everyone in the house is so palpable. It almost stings for real. You mean like the time that he whipped my brain into absolute clumps of matter as he killed me? Just saying. Your lessons with the tutor are done for today. You are walking down the stairs when you spot Gloria peeping into the sitting room through a slightly open window. You sneak up on your sister and tap her lightly on the shoulder. She is startled. Oh, it's you, Volker. Look, Sir Gregor's eating something. He is? I thought he simply just ate all the dust in the house. Like, you know, something even lower than a commoner. Grandfather is sitting on the sofa, flipping through a book with one hand and reaching for a glass bowl with another now and then. Inside the bowl, you see candied fruit, a sweet confectionery forbidden to the common estate, like all sweet things. Yet Grandfather's face shows no pleasure as he keeps consuming the high-born treats. Clearly clearly he does not appreciate it. The clock strikes 3. Grandfather rises from his seat, puts away the bowl on his shelf, and leaves for the yard. He always takes a walk in the city at this time. Gloria nudges you with her elbow and looks at the candy bowl when you look at her. The first emotion you feel is fear, but next comes curiosity, and it is stronger. Stephen used to boast that candied fruit tastes incredible, and now you have a perfect opportunity to try it. You try candied fruit first. The sugar starts to melt as soon as you put it onto your tongue. It is so sweet. You have never eaten anything as good as this. You take the whole bowl off the shelf and give it to your sister. She takes the fruit and brings it to her mouth, carefully, like a rare treasure. There's a thumping on the stairs, footsteps accompanied by the knocking of a walking stick. You have no idea why, but Grandfather is back. You quickly hide behind the sofa and pull Gloria after you, but she is frozen in place with the bowl in her hands. The door opens. Grandfather's menacing figure advances on Gloria. His hand seizes her arm.
You squalid, ungrateful, low-born child! How dare you bite the hand that feeds you?
She didn't bite your hand, you old cobble.
You and your trollop of a mother would be sleeping in a ditch if it weren't for my spineless son. The sweet and pleasant things in life are for the noble estate, not for the likes of you. Did you forget your lot?
His hand swings and hits Gloria on the cheek. She falls to the floor right next to where you are hidden. Her fingers glisten with the warm melted sugar that brought you here. Grandfather advances again, his walking stick ready, but then he sees you huddling behind the armchair. Please don't hurt him, Sir Brante. This is all my fault. He tried to stop me. You can already see a bruise on Gloria's cheek. This is only the beginning of her punishment. Gloria was caught red-handed. Unlike you, you can still avoid your punishment.
What is it then, milksop? Did you try the sugar too? Or were you trying to stop this piece of filth like she says?
Mock Grandfather along with your sister.
What? I don't have grateful with Gloria? What?
Oh, maybe if I just... Oh, maybe there was a way I could have had that happen with a kaleidoscope. You start mocking Grandfather along, convinced that Gloria will join you. Yeah, no, not quite. Conditions met, personality, willpower is greater than 0. Lie. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell the truth. I'm taking this punishment with her. She and I are in this together. You stand up and tell the truth. Even though it takes you an effort to do it, you actually ate a candied fruit, but Gloria only touched it. You hope this will help your sister avoid punishment. You are quickly proven wrong. Grandfather's face is red with rage. He strikes you both with his walking stick, blow for blow. He keeps hitting you until he grows tired, and then he leaves you where you are. Soon enough, Mother comes in to find the two of you on the floor. Too afraid to move, she shakes her head in disappointment. You're badly hurt and covered in bruises, yet she still forces you to kneel and recite the precepts on the lots, and how important it is to follow them.
Okay, fuck you! I didn't even mean to have you like me more. So this really means absolutely nothing to me. I do not care how much you actually like me or not. Because fuck you. You are an awful piece of shit.
Then you stand before Father and Grandfather and swear never to take things that do not belong to you again. Okay, I do lose... Oh, I'm exhausted in willpower. But I gain more perception. That's the important thing. Father and Mother have been focused on Nathan and you since early morning. Instead of breakfast, you are told to say your prayers, wash your hands and faces, and get dressed in plain white shirts. Today is the day of your sacrament. Mother, I want to go play in the yard. No playing today. You and Volker are big boys now. It is time for you both to have your first sacrament. No one can live without a lot. I don't want a lot.
Be quiet and listen. Born commoners, so you must accept a low-born lot before the twins. When you grow up, you will get a chance to earn a noble lot.
Father and Mother take you to the carriage. Nathan is hungry. He starts whining. Grandfather is the last to get in the carriage. His eyes are on you and your brother, looking for every fault. Soon the carriage is moving along the streets of Anizote, slowly and solemnly. One more turn and you see the colossal white building marked by two massive pillars. For first time in your life, you are to enter the Church of the Twin Gods. You enter the gate and walk under the splendorous dome of the church. The church hall is divided into two halves. They are drastically different from one another. The floor on one side is rough and jagged, and covered in dried brown spots, while the floor on the other side is made up of smooth marble. The commoners kneel on the jagged floor, and the well-dressed nobles and their families sit on pews. Father and grandfather leave you to sit on one of the nobles' pews. Mother walks to the rough stone of the commoner's side and gets down on her knees. You see her wince in pain, for the low-born estate shall suffer in the house of the faith. The church acolytes surround you and lead you to the altar where you and other children will take your sacrament this day. Before you stands a tall priest, dressed in black with a sword in one hand and a hefty whip in the other. Nathan's whining grows louder. He dislikes this place. He is scared. You remain quiet, but your stomach roils in uneasy anticipation. The first child to take the sacrament is a jaunty little boy from a family of nobles. The priest extends the sword before him and recites the words of his lot. From this day forth he will fight and rule and pursue the arts, his mind now forever free from throes of suffering, for he now belongs to the noble lot. The boy proudly touches the flat of the blade with his lips. Nathan is next to receive the sacrament. He suddenly snaps out of his fearful trance and tries to break free, but the acolyte pulls him toward the altar and throws him on the jagged floor on the lowborn side. The sharp edges bite into Nathan's knees as he lands, spraying drops of red around him. I don't wanna. Volker, why do they want to whip me? What did I do? You try to break free and run to Nathan's side. You want to give him courage and protect him, but the acolyte's grip on you is too firm. You feel utterly helpless. Your little brother has to face the world all by himself. The priest starts reciting the words of the lot as he swings the lash over Nathan's shoulders. From this day forth, Nathan, thou shalt endure and work and suffer. Thou shalt be ardent in thy labor and humble in obedience to thy rulers. And now cometh thy first true suffering, which thou must accept with gratitude. The lash cracks. It strikes his right shoulder. It strikes his left shoulder. The blows are so powerful that Nathan falls to the floor. The priest tells him to rise. He's received his lot. Nathan gets on his feet and drags himself towards Mother, his knees torn and bloodied, his spirits broken. It is your turn. Your feet will not move. You can barely muster enough strength to walk to the altar. You get down on your knees and feel the sharp stones below, so sharp your clothing cannot protect you. Your skin begins to burn. The acolyte forces your head down and you feel the lash being drawn above you, ready to strike. The priest's words are for you now. This is thy sacrament. Thou shalt work and endure truth and suffer. Thou art about to receive thy first true suffering by the sacred lash. Dost thou accept thy lot? Okay, so I can't raise my head, because I do not have enough determination. And I cannot kiss the sword because I do not have any willpower. The lash strikes, but your hand flies up and intercepts it before it can reach your shoulder. The leather whip leaves a deep cut on the palm of your hand. Blood starts dripping down your arm, soaking your humble shirt with red. The furious priest yanks the lash out of your hand. The acolytes grab you by your arms again. You will not be given a second chance to interrupt the sacrament. The lash cracks. It hits you on the right shoulder. You grit your teeth. Your back barely hurts at all. The real pain comes from the cut on your hand. The lash strikes again, this time on your left shoulder. You rise and walk away from the altar swaying. You see things with surprising clarity right now. A timid hand touches yours. It is Nathan, his tearful face a mixture of confusion and awe.
Mother takes her hand and leads you out of the church. Once you are outside, she scolds you for being insubordinate. Grandfather is the last to leave his church, his face covered in red, angry blotches. There is a quiet fury in his voice as he says something to Father, who remains quiet and miserable as you walk to the carriage. You defied a powerful will that day. There is fear inside you. You fear that this will might one day destroy you. Oh, I lost 1 perception, really? I would have thought that would have given me more perception, if I'm being perfectly honest, but I do get more determination, so, you know. You have taken your first sacrament and received the commoner's lot. Unfortunately, I was not able to kiss the sword because I did not have enough, well, you know. Juvenile. Year 1125, childhood's end. The mark left on you by the sacrament takes a long time to heal. Mother says it is a reminder of your lot. Suffering and sufferance. Pain and patience. Gloria shows the mark of the lash on her shoulder one day. It will never disappear. You are a commoner now. This is the lot you were born into. But Father keeps telling you to study hard so you may yet earn a different lot and become noble of the mantle. You recall the past with warm sadness. When Stephen still lived with you, or when he wrote to you for a time shortly after he left. Now he thinks it beneath him to write to the commoners in his family. Mother didn't lock herself in the bedroom as often back then. This changed shortly before Nathan was born. But, most importantly, you missed the time before the terrifying figure of your grandfather was constantly looming over you. You learned the true power of the lot only after the head of the family's arrival. In grandfather's eyes, no commoner deserves to be treated with kindness. Is this just him, or is it the way of the entire world? The very thought makes you queasy. You are older now, and what's more, you are an elder brother now. You've learned how to care about someone else, how to teach, and protect. Soon you are a small boy no longer. As the days pass, play gradually gives way to laborious study. Now your choices will decide your place in this bizarre and ruthless world of adulthood. Your childhood years are over. Let's see. Soon you are a small boy no longer, and the days pass. Oh wait, I already read that. Important life events that had happened to you in this chapter. Let's see now. Personal life, birth, your life in this world begins. How will you live it? Brother and sister sacrament. Your siblings, Stephen and Gloria, took their first sacrament at the temple. Family, your younger brother Nathan is born in 1122, in 4 years. Grandfather's return in 1124. Personal life beyond. As a small child, you suffer your first death and rebirth. And personal life, the sacrament. You have taken your first sacrament and received the commoner's lot. Personal qualities that you have accumulated in childhood. They will convert into adult qualities at the end of Chapter 2, Adolescence. Okay. So I'm active and I am inquisitive. At least I'm not spineless, so that is definitely something. Okay, so, yeah, that works for me. I'm inquisitive and I'm active. I like that. I like that a lot. Let's see, next. Your inner strength, oh, I am exhausted, though. So, yeah, I did realize there would be one quality that wouldn't necessarily be that great. Your inner strength and the number of lesser deaths that you have experienced, these qualities will stay with you for your entire life, and I did die once. There is also that. Alright, continue. Okay, so now we are starting in adolescence, but I think that'll have to
I was growing up fast. The school, the streets, and the whole wide world awaited me beyond the gate of my parents' house.
Oh, that didn't quite last as long as I thought it would, but I think this will be where we end things off, and we will start in the next video by checking on our qualities a little bit. So anyway, hope you all enjoyed this video. Give that like button a stab if you did, subscribe if you want more death in your life, be sure the bell is tolling for thee, and until next time, rest in peace. Bye!
Enjoyed today's video? Well, there's plenty more for you to enjoy here, and if you also want to support this small channel, then there is also my Ko-fi, which is available, as well as a Twitter thread that gives you my commissioning info. And if you'd like some traditional art or literature, feel free to DM me on Twitter. Thank you for enjoying the video and for your viewership.